Time report with LaFonso Ellis and Coach Seth Greenberg. Kevin Connors here in studio. Our game was tied at 22, and then Fonz, Kentucky went on a 19-5 run to close out that first half. What changed?
I thought a couple bad shots from Vanderbilt allowed some opportunities for Kentucky to get out in transition. Seth alluded to their spacing early in the game. The spacing's been terrific. They've been able to get it into Oscar Tshiebwe. He's been able to go to work inside. He's been able to knock down a 15-foot jump shot, and Ty Washington continues to play with great poise.
I'll tell you what's changed. It's real simple, Kevin. John Calipari built that lead. He went to his young guys, give them an opportunity to play. And all of a sudden, the pressure of Vanderbilt got up and underneath them, and those young guys didn't respond. Yeah. So what did he do? He went to the cavalry. He brought the veteran guys back in. Those veteran guys basically stabilized the situation. When you have Kellen Grady on the floor, when you have Ty on the floor, when you have Mintz on the floor with Oscar Tshiebwe and Keon Brooks, you've got a group of guys that understand how to compete defensively, can execute in the half court, and are extremely unselfish. And that's what happened. John Calipari gave those young guys a chance, but said, you know what? We got to get back in control of this game, and that's exactly what happened.
The ball does not stick with that veteran group. They pass it awfully well.
Yes.
When we come back here on the Jeep Halftime Report, we'll look ahead to the big one tonight in the SEC. Plus, check in on Tennessee and South Carolina next.
This Halftime Report is presented by the all-new 2022 Grand Wagoneer.
Good having someone on your side to care for, be there for life's twists and turns that it has in store. 'Cause it's the little moments where we show how much we care, and with so much to protect each day, a little goes a long way. Nationwide is on your side.
Son? It's time we had the talk.
No, Dad.
T-Mobile has more 5G bars in more places, so even here, I can use my new iPhone 13 Pro with 5G to share this video I made with your mom in cinematic mode.
What?
Plus, with speeds as fast as Wi-Fi nationwide, I can upload this fast.
I'm not sure you want to share that.
Too late. Already hit send.
T-Mobile has more 5G bars in more places than anyone. Just one of the reasons T-Mobile is the leader in 5G.
Expand your limits in the 2022 Lexus GX with Apple CarPlay support.
Get 2.49% APR financing on the 2022 GX 460.
Something happened to me.
What you call an icon living?
I found the girl. My powers are beginning to manifest.
You are exceptional.
Naomi, new series coming this week to the CW and the CW app.
Are you ready for the first ever Week 18 season finale and for Wild Card Weekend to extend into Monday? Well, you better get ready.
Everything you've seen me do was made possible by what you don't see. Because when you're not looking, I go to work. Strength isn't a given. It's grown. It's earned and tested. We all have the strength to see what's possible. It's up to us to unlock it. Tonal, be your strongest.
Show the world what it means to be a fan at Fanatics.com with authentic sports memorabilia and collectibles and one-of-a-kind autographs from Fanatics exclusive athletes. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
Guys, HGH declines as you age, and it can drag your masculinity down with it. Prime HGH triggers a surge in growth hormone linked to more muscle, drive, and manliness. Rush to Walmart for Prime HGH from Force Factor, the #1 fastest growing men's health brand in America.
Welcome back to the Jeep Halftime Report.
With LaFonso Ellis and Coach Seth Greenberg, Kevin Connors in studio. South Carolina, kind of a sneaky 10-4 team, taking on Tennessee and off to a good start. James Couisnard the steal. James Reese knocks down the three, and then Couisnard a three. He had 10 in the first half. Coach, where do you see Tennessee right now?
Tennessee's a team, I love what they're doing defensive, but offensive, they've got to find a wing scorer to emerge to take a little bit of pressure off of Kennedy Chandler. Kennedy Chandler can get in the lane, he can create, he can come off ball screens, They have the ability in the post with focusing to scoring the block, but they need someone to emerge on the wing.
Meantime, what to watch for tonight, 9 Eastern, second half of our doubleheader. It's the Iron Bowl on the hardwood. 4th-ranked Auburn and potential #1 overall pick Jabari Smith taking on Alabama in Tuscaloosa. The Tide coming off the puzzling loss at Missouri. Fonz, they're hurting in T-Town tonight after the national championship loss last night to Georgia.
Right.
Hey, why is tonight potentially more danger for this Alabama team?
Well, Auburn's one of the best defenses in the country. They turn teams over on 23% of their possessions. That's top 30. And remember, Alabama played against some Memphis teams that likes to get up in your full court, pressure you, and they turned that back. They were sped up, turned the basketball over 20 times in that game. If they turn it over against Auburn like that tonight, Auburn will be out in transition, dunking it on the other end. They have to take care of the basketball tonight.
Coach, Auburn's won 11 in a row. Why are they special?
They have junkyard dog mentality defensively, and offensively they have versatility. I mean, they have the ability. Walker Kessler, in the last 6 games, 5.7 blocks. He's a 7-footer with 7'5" wingspan that can move his feet. Look for them to switch some of those side ball screens. He has the ability to protect the rim. And then Jabari Smith, he's just different. 6'10's got a little Kevin Durant that can play in the mid-post, create a shot for his own. But this is the thing that makes Auburn special. I love their spacing. I love how unselfish they are. They can attack matchups. They give up a good shot to get a better shot to get the best shot. And when that guy's shooting, he shoots over 45% from the three-point line. Jabari Smith, to me, is the #1 pick in the NBA draft, a matchup nightmare.
Coach, why is Alabama from game to game a different team right now?
They're not shooting the ball well, and they just don't defend the way they have. And you think about it, they lost Herb Jones. They lost Primo. They lost even John Petty, 3 veteran defenders. Their inability to control the basketball, and then they're not shooting it like they were shooting it. I mean, last year they shot over 40%, close to 40% from the three-point line. They're under 30 in league play right now, so they're not getting the same quality of shots, and they're just not as tough defensively.
Fonz, are those things that you can fix?
You can fix them going forward, but the problem is, Seth said it, Herbert Jones was unique last year, and I thought he set the bar for what the defense was going to be. They don't have that guy on this team, so they'll continue to struggle in that area. I do expect them to shoot it a little bit better going forward, but as Quinterly gets in the lane and makes plays for himself and for guys like Jaden Shackelford.
It's an Auburn's team whose only loss this season came in double overtime in the Bahamas in November against UConn. Look at Oscar Tshiebwe, Coach.
Oscar Tshiebwe looking like George Gervin right there.
41-28, Big Blue Nation on top.
People assume these photo shoots are easy. Just like they assume they can't afford great insurance. But State Farm has rates that fit any budget. What? All in the core. For surprisingly great rates that fit any budget, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or click to get a quote today.
Got our favorites. Chicken McNuggets.
Let me guess, a Big Mac?
What's that?
Where's my McNugget, Dad?
What McNugget?
I can literally see it.
Enjoy any 2 classics for $6, like a Big Mac or 10-piece Chicken McNuggets for a limited time at McDonald's.
Best 2 out of 3?
It's one fantastic ride. The turbocharged, tech-inspired new Kia Forte.
Meet Ron. That man is always on. And he's on it with Jardiance for type 2 diabetes. His underhand sky serve, on fire. His grilling game, on point. And his A1C, Ron is on it with the once daily pill Jardiance. Jardiance not only lowers A1C, it goes beyond to reduce the risk of cardiovascular death for adults with type 2 diabetes and known heart disease. And Jardiance may help you lose some weight.
Jardiance may cause serious side effects, including ketoacidosis that may be fatal, dehydration that can lead to sudden worsening of kidney function, and genital yeast or urinary tract infections. A rare life-threatening bacterial infection in the skin of the perineum could occur. Stop taking Jardiance and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of this infection, ketoacidosis, or an allergic reaction. And don't take it if you're on dialysis. Taking Jardiance with a sulfonylurea or insulin may cause low blood sugar.
A once-daily pill that goes beyond lowering A1C?
On it with Jardians.
Ask your doctor about Jardians.
No annual fee on any Discover card.
This halftime report is presented by the all-new 2022 Grand Wagoneer.
7 Kentucky assists. Ty Washington here to Kellen Grady. Scottie Pippen Jr. has 17. Good second half is next. This has been the Jeep halftime report.
So at AT&T, everyone gets our best deals. Aren't others doing that? Others say that, but not everyone gets the best deal. Like, what if I give you a lollipop? Then I give you our best lollipop. That's not fair. At AT&T, we think it's only fair that all customers get our best deals. And you get a choice of plans.
She said everyone.
It's not complicated. Only AT&T gives both new and existing customers our same best deals, like up to $800 off our most popular smartphones.
Shh, you think she's still awake?
Don't worry.
The Lexus RX, built for modern families.
Get $1,500 lease cash toward a 2022 RX 350.
And Doug.
Superpowers from a spider bite. I could use some help showing the world how Liberty Mutual customizes their car insurance, so they only pay for what they need. Did it work?
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Spider-Man No Way Home in theaters December 17th.
You inspired the new Lexus ES to be, well, more you. So thank you. We hope you like your work.
Get $1,500 lease cash toward a 2022 ES 350.
You wonder how they do it. You look to see the knack. You watch the foot in action, or the shoulder, or the back.
That's good. Let's try it
one more time.
But when you spot the answer, where the higher glamours lurk, that most of it is practice, and the rest of it is work.
It's the hottest seller's market in years. If you're thinking of selling your home, your first step is to find out how much it's worth today. But where do you start? Introducing HomeLight, the essential real estate platform for selling your home. HomeLight will give you a free home valuation and match you with top local real estate agents in your neighborhood who will provide you a complimentary market analysis. HomeLight uses the same tools banks and lenders use, and HomeLight is backed by the nation's best real estate experts. Find out how much your home is worth for free at HomeLight.com.
We all have the strength to see what's possible. It's up to us to unlock it. Tonal, be your strongest.
Guys, HGH declines as you age, and it can drag your masculinity down with it. Prime HGH triggers a surge in growth hormone linked to more muscle, drive, and manliness. Rush to Walmart with Prime HGH from Force Factor, the #1 fastest growing men's health brand in America.
Welcome back to Super Tuesday, presented by Progressive. This is the SEC on ESPN. Is she going to do it?
Yes.
Is she going to do it? You already know, Red Panda. I mean, come on, every single time, brilliant. You know what else was brilliant? Kentucky shot 61% from the field, 41-28 the lead, Jay, at half.
Well, Kentucky got just about whatever they wanted on the offensive end. For Vanderbilt, it was Scottie Pippen Jr. He had 17 points in that first half. The Commodores need more out of Miles Studi and Jordan Wright. That combination scoreless in the first half. But Kentucky was excellent. Ran very good offense. You mentioned 61% in that first half. Put up 41 points against a team that's only giving up 64 points a game. You can see the difference in points in the paint that Ty Washington and Oscar Tshiebwe combined for 26. They were excellent in that first half.
You just don't know, too. It's of course Washington and Sheboy. They've been excellent, but Grady chips in with 7. Davion Mintz with a couple of threes. He has 6. I mean, this is an explosive and highly efficient Kentucky offense this year.
Well, they were almost as good as Red Panda. You know, Red Panda had 0 turnovers at halftime and a dominant performance. But a scouting report on Red Panda, she's right foot dominant, so you really have to sit on that left foot to limit her effectiveness.
Look, Ty Washington had 17 assists, 2 turnovers on Saturday. That's a good assist-to-turnover rate. You're saying Red Panda has just a much higher assist-to-turnover rate every time out.
Well, if he did it on a unicycle, then it would be extraordinarily impressive. But Shea Ralph, the former UConn All-American, was passing her those bowls. And I didn't know that Shea Ralph was that good of a bowl passer. She had 0 turnovers as well. Another great pass inside. Oscar Sheboy has just been a dominant presence in the lane.
The Congolese menace, his first full year at Kentucky. Remember, he spent a year and a half at West Virginia. But this has been an incredible breakout year for him. He's got 17 and 7 tonight. Averaging better than 16 points, 15 rebounds per game.
Well, he was a great rebounder at West Virginia, averaged over 9 per game. Just a terrific seal, and you let Oscar Sheboy get that deep in the post. When you get both feet in the post, you call that a double bury, and he buried Vanderbilt on that play. But Sheboy is such a great rebounder, not just because of his size and his hands and his effort. He is really smart in the way he positions himself, especially on the offensive end.
That time, Washington smothered the Thomas attempt. Brooks bounce pass to Mintz. And Laura Brown cleans it up.
Well, Kentucky wasn't able to capitalize, but yet another relatively easy opportunity.
Oh, boy, the giveaway. It's Grady. And the flush. Kellen Grady.
You know, I think that Pippen would have been better off trying to shoot that ball. I think he might have drawn a foul on a shot, did not draw it on the pass. And those are the kind of turnovers that he's had of late that have led to runouts on the other end.
He's looking for some help, and that time Trey Thomas steps in nicely. He's got another triple. Oh, Mintz is wide open on this end and sticks it.
Now that reminds you of the old Boston Celtics back in the day. You'd score on them, and before you could gather yourself, they're laying it in on the other end.
Now, and Vanderbilt in this game has never led. There's Pippen underneath, affected by Sheboy. It at one point went on a 12-0 run in that first half to tie the score. That was answered immediately by a big Kentucky run. So the Wildcats have been up by double figures for much of this game. Sheboy, high percentage look, fouled. He's got 2 at the line.
And it was the penetration by Kellen Grady. Anytime the big guy has to help up for penetration, Kentucky's either going to drop it off down low or they're going to throw it right next to the rim for a lob. Sheboy, I mean, I know what everybody means when they call him a menace because you know, he's so productive, but he's such a dignified presence on the floor. I just love watching him play.
Jam-packed January. You like that one? Spanish Super Cup final. We got the Australian Open, the first ever Monday night wild card playoff. It's going to be a good one, by the way. Cardinals, Rams, UFC 270, Saturday the 22nd. A little bit of everything this month on ESPN, ABC, ESPN Deportes, ESPN Plus.
I grew up a Rams fan in Los Angeles. Was heartbroken when they moved to St. Louis, but it's good to have the Rams back in L.A.
Boy, quality matchup. We got Kyler Murray, Matt Stafford squaring off a divisional round. There's a wild Week 18, by the way. Here's Thomas wants another 3, and that's his second. He buries another this half.
Well, he is feeling it. I think we mentioned he was excellent in that game against Arkansas. He can shoot it off the dribble, a little bit streaky, but he's on a good streak in this one.
He's got 3 from deep. There you see he's got 11 as well. Now he has done his part. You brought this up earlier. Can guys like Jordan Wright, Miles Studi get going on the offensive end for Vandy? It's got to stay up with Kentucky. 4 to shoot. This is Brooks. He's got to hoist it. Keon Brooks from deep.
Well, that's an area of his game he has improved greatly. He's not been shooting a great percentage from 3, but he's a much more competent shooter from deep and especially mid-range. His release is much higher.
He contests that Studi triple. He drains it.
He's one of the guys that has to get going. He had 19 against South Carolina, 14 against BYU. He leads Vanderbilt in 3-point field goals, had 28 coming into this one.
He was 0 of 3 from deep in that first half. He splashes his first look here in the second. Still a 14-point cushion for Kentucky, who's won 10 straight against Vandy. Sheboy offline that time. Brooks taps it back to himself. Melora Brown rejects that one out of bounds.
Keon Brooks with the shot clock winding down at 17 points against Missouri. A much improved offensive player for Kentucky.
Oh, is that true? Geico's been saving folks money for 85 years?
Yep, that's right.
Wait, so if Geico's 85, that makes you...
Are you asking if I'm 85 years old?
I mean, sea turtles live to be 150, so... No, I was not.
Do I look 85?
What? No! You look young. You look young for however old you are.
Geico, saving people money for 85 years.
Something happened to me.
What you call an icon living?
I found the girl. My powers are beginning to manifest.
You are exceptional.
Naomi, new series coming this week to the CW and the CW app.
The outsiders ravage our lands. Their cruelty is all I've known.
Together, we stand a chance.
Let's fight like demons.
Amazing. Jerry, you gotta see this.
Saying it. Trust me, after 15 walks, gets a little old.
Stop waiting. Start investing. E-Trade.
Juliana, Big Mac, no pickles, extra special sauce. And Jimena, quarter pounder with cheese, extra pickles, no onions.
Thanks, Dad.
You got it.
Enjoy any 2 classics for $6, like a Big Mac or quarter pounder with cheese for a limited time at McDonald's.
Hey there, you getting some gas?
Just using your squeegee.
Well, this squeegee kind of comes with gas.
Squeegee isn't free?
Oh, that's free with gas.
Yeah, but it's a plug-in hybrid. I don't need gas.
Well, no gas, no squeegee.
No gas, no squeegee?
No gas, no squeegee.
No gas, no squeegee.
Now free squeegee?
Now free squeegee.
Squeegee.
Evolve your journey beyond the pump in the first ever Santa Fe plug-in hybrid EV.
Are you okay?
Oh, it's just a cold. If you have high blood pressure, a cold is not just a cold. Unlike other cold medicines, Coricidin provides powerful cold relief without raising your blood pressure. Be there for life's best moments with Coricidin, now in sugar-free liquid.
At Chipotle, this is our best chorizo ever. Charred and grilled with a rich, smoky flavor. It just happens to be made from plants. Everything you love about Chipotle, but 100% plant-based.
Open late, early, weekends, after double shifts, during lunch breaks, in between grocery shopping, side gigs, and picking up the kiddos. Drop off your docs, upload online, or file on the go. At Jackson Hewitt, we work around your schedule so you can get your biggest refund guaranteed.
Kentucky with a 14-point lead early in the second half with Jay Billis, Kevin Fitzgerald with you, and another fine shooting display by the Wildcats. Highly efficient numbers again, Jay.
Well, Kentucky has handled Vanderbilt's pressure very well. This is a good passing team. They move without the ball, and they show great unselfishness. You know, it seems like every player on the floor doesn't care who scores as long as somebody in blue scores. That's a great way to play.
Oftentimes it's been that man, Oscar Sheboy. He draws another whistle.
You know, it's not like Oscar Sheboy is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar when he gets the ball in the post. I'm not suggesting that. But when he gets it in the post, Kentucky runs much more efficiently when he's a threat in there because he can score it, and then movement on the perimeter will get openings. And one thing Kentucky, Kevin, has not allowed Vanderbilt to do is slow them down. I think the Wildcats allowed Notre Dame to do that up in South Bend in December, a game that was played in the 60s.
Oh, and since then, Kentucky has gone 5-1. You know, 4 of those wins, they've gone for 90 or more points. And there you go, another 20-point game for Sheboy. Here's Studi, lines up another triple, and Washington clears it.
And Vanderbilt not getting any offensive rebounds. The Commodores trying to get back in transition to limit what the Wildcats can do in the open floor. So not a lot of second chance opportunities for the Commodores.
Yep. So just the 3 offensive boards, and meanwhile 40% from the field. And not bad, but your opponent is shooting it much better and at a higher rate.
Kentucky run a little horn set. That's 2 guys up top setting screens, 2 in the corners. And then Sheboy just rolls to the basket. And then Keon Brooks pops out.
Pippen got doubled, kicks it to right, offline. Here you go, watch Kentucky move. Really connected on this end. Grady, he appears, misses.
Rebound.
Yeah, Brooks. It's a couple of times he's just snatched it right over a Commodore. Stays here.
Well, he's got a 7'1" wingspan and athletic. But you're right, he's gone over the top, not over the back, but over the top of Vanderbilt players, and he went over the top of Melora Brown there. Or excuse me, that was probably Wright, but Wright was stepping out of bounds and still had a hand on the ball. This is a great rebound by Brooks. Great screen underneath.
Boy, Sheboy turned. He didn't realize just how open he was. There was no one behind him for a second. Scores with the left hand that time. 22 and counting. Coming off that career-high 29-point game on Saturday against Georgia.
When Kentucky inbounds it, they're going to look. The inbounder is going to set a screen for Sheboy to free him up, and then there's a little screen for the screener action. But if you don't guard that initial action well, it's going to be a layup like it was there.
This 17-point cushion, the largest of the day for Kentucky. And this has happened several times this year. Kentucky just too much firepower. And the key is, can Vanderbilt string some baskets together, but also some stops as well on the other end.
Well,
that free throw there.
That's the key, is stops. You know, Vanderbilt has to get stops, and Kentucky shooting close to 60% in this game. That's not a formula for Vanderbilt's success. But when Xavier Wheeler gets back, I think he's going to get back to a better team than he left. I mean, this has really, in a way, helped Ty Washington to blossom. And when he can get back off the ball, you've got a guy that can run the point and that can hunt his own offense when Wheeler's in there to run the show.
They're both brilliant. They bring something different to the table in a sense each. There's Washington again on the pull-up.
Well, the one thing you cannot do with this lineup is you can't play off anybody. When Wheeler's in the game, you know, Notre Dame did it. They played 10 feet off of Xavier Wheeler and really clogged things up in the middle, made it more difficult. And with this lineup you can't do that.
Meanwhile, Scottie Pippen Jr., Jay, he's got 21 points on 11 attempts. He's hit 5 triples and a handful of points at the free throw line as well.
Well, he's a player. He just needs some help out of his teammates in this one.
Yes, he does. Sheboy right to the rack, fouled on the way in.
Bring 2 to the ball. Sheboy made himself available and just had a open lane to the basket.
It's such a uniquely constructed Kentucky roster this year. You've got the 5-star talent that you typically see in Lexington. That's a player like Washington. You've got the 6 transfers. That's the most ever on a roster at any time in Cal's tenure.
And you have a number of specialists on this team. Yep. Sheboy, a specialist on the glass. Xavier Wheeler, a specialist in running a team and his assist rate. He's in the top 20 in the country in assist rate, leading the SEC in assists. Heck, you got two guys on this team that set Kentucky records in Rupp Arena. 28 rebounds against Western Kentucky for Sheboy, and then 17 assists for Ty Washington against Georgia.
Pippen's going to have himself an easy one in transition.
Yeah, that's been their first easy basket in the open floor.
A 15-point cushion for Kentucky. The Wildcats trying to get to 3-1 in league play.
Little zone look right now for Vanderbilt, bringing the wings up a little bit, trying to match up out of it.
You like it?
Yeah, it gives a different look, but Keon Brooks wide open in the middle.
There he is. He attacks, lays it up, count it, and the foul.
Brooks just completely discarded Trey Thomas. Put him down. Watch, Thomas goes down, then completely wide open. Thomas was saying, hey, Mr. Referee, I don't think you can do that.
Oh, it's 6'7", 215 pounds coming at him. He can't complete the three-point play, but you've got a player like Keon Brooks, the captain, averaging a career best in points per game.
Second leading rebounder, but how about this? Oscar Sheboy averages more offensive rebounds than any teammate averages total rebounds. Yeah. Now, if I were a Kentucky player, I'd say, well, he's getting them all. How do you want us to get him if he's getting them all?
It's unreal. A foul on the floor. And Kentucky's lead is its largest, I should say second largest of the night. 17-point advantage inside Memorial Gym.
Behold, the transformation rate.
Awesome! Big changes are coming to Hotel Transylvania.
I'm a monster, and you're human? I have a total dad bod.
On January 14th,
If we don't fix you guys soon, you'll be like this forever.
they're on an adventure.
Whatever.
To turn the pack back.
Floppy?
Hotel Transylvania. Transformania. Rated PG. Exclusively on Prime Video.
I see a great future for you. Adventures, success in business, irresistible to the ladies.
You could see all that from my hand?
Yes, but not from that one, from the other one.
Red Bull gives you wings.
It's perfect.
What if that comes to the house?
Assuming you get the house.
Play for it.
Oh, you're on.
Come on, baby, you got this.
I'm not even listening. What's happening?
Time out. Don't play games when the competition is this fierce.
Use a verified approval from Rocket Mortgage. It confirms your income, credit, and assets so sellers know that your offer is serious.
When you want to play to win, Rocket can.
It feels good having someone on your side to care for, be there for life's twists and turns that it has in store. 'Cause it's the little moments where we show how much we care, and with so much to protect each day, a little goes a long way. Nationwide is on your side.
This Friday, prepare to scream.
Doors unlocked.
Scream. Rated R. Only in theaters.
Welcome to the next level. This is the all-new Lexus NX with intuitive tech.
Watch for traffic.
And our most advanced safety system ever.
At CDW, we get that your world is always changing, and you need to adapt to support your digital transformation. We can help you achieve your business goals by streamlining your data across cloud environments with NetApp Cloud Services, orchestrated by CDW. With greater accessibility and control, you'll be able to accelerate innovation, bring the flexibility of the cloud to your environment, and reduce your infrastructure footprint to contain costs, so you can be prepared for whatever is headed your way. For a cloud that fits your demands, you need NetApp and IT orchestration by CDW.
You see the dazzling display of basketball from Ty Washington tonight. He's one of the best freshmen of the SEC. Matter of fact, he's one of the best freshman guards in the country. This is a good luck to whoever has to play fives against this unit. Some extremely talented first-year players of the SEC this year. Here are their ESPN 100 ranks. You know, Jabari Smith at Auburn, he came into the league this year with high expectations, next level type talent. Boy, he has really lived up to the hype, hasn't he?
I think he's exceeded those expectations.
Yep.
You know, Jabari Smith, there's been a lot of people who said he's the closest thing to Kevin Durant they've seen in college since Durant was at Texas. Now, that doesn't suggest that Jabari Smith is as good as Kevin Durant, but he certainly reminds you of Durant. He is a smooth shooter at 6'10". Not many players can do what he can do. Kennedy Chandler's been fantastic at Tennessee. Tennessee will be here for Vanderbilt's next home game. Now, this league is a bear. It's an absolute bear.
Hey, you said it earlier. It feels like maybe the strongest conference in college hoops right now, doesn't it?
I think it's the best.
Yeah.
I mean, the Big Ten has the most player of the year candidates. I think Oscar Tshiebwe of Kentucky is a national player of the year candidate, but you start looking at guys like Kofi Coburn of Illinois, Keegan Murray of Iowa, Johnny Davis of Wisconsin's been outstanding, E.J. Liddell of Ohio State, Trace Jackson Davis at Indiana. I mean, the list of big guys in the Big Ten is kind of staggering.
Foul on Brooks on the inside. Coming up on the midway mark of the second half. Boy, with that latest Kentucky basket, the lead is 19. Thomas, it's the second time he's hit one from that corner.
Yeah, you really have to be on him. If you make him drive, make him finish at the basket because he's small. You know, make him take a tough two or pass it, because if he's able to get his feet set, you know, it's been nothing but the bottom of the net in this one.
Yeah, Thomas, the sophomore from Durham, Ontario. Very reliable shooter. Bryce Hopkins into the game, the freshman. He chases down his own miss. Washington, that mid-range game is so strong for the freshman.
You know, off that screen roll action, Bryce Hopkins did a really nice job. They call it shake action. He comes up from the corner, and when he caught it, he got downhill right away. And he's going to be a good player. To Seth Greenberg's point, when Collins and Hopkins, as they mature, Kentucky's going to get that much better.
Thomas on the pull-up, and the rebound is Tshiebwe.
See, and that's the shot you want him to take, that tough two.
Oh, Mintz had the right idea. He was looking for Hopkins. He tried to squeeze it through the window. Yeah, there's contact, a player down. That time
Thomas was out of bounds, but he got fouled.
Bang. It was Washington who ricocheted into him. So Kentucky basketball. And Mintz to inbound.
So the two three-point shooters, Mintz and Washington. Everybody else more of a driver or interior player.
That's Hopkins, Tshiebwe, and then Toppin. Tshiebwe, count it! He's at the line for one more.
Really good awareness by Hopkins. Looked like he was going to rise up for that shot, but caught that Tshiebwe was wide open on that little roll. And man, just a little bit out of position coming over from the weak side. Got him in the air and then drew the contact to finish with the left hand.
Boy, you look up and it's 26 points for Tshiebwe, make it 27. You mentioned before, okay, it may not be Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You see that number 34. You always liked Hakeem the Dream. And where's 34 in his honor?
Hey, he does say that soccer was a big factor in his development. So maybe he's not Kareem, but Moses Malone ain't bad. But that was more to get the ball to him in the post. I mean, he's such a presence in there.
Thomas, the floater that time, left it short.
And that was good defense by Tshiebwe. Stayed in front of him, made him take a really difficult shot instead of allowing him space to get up a three. It seems like a small thing, but That's a big-time play by Oscar Sheboy.
He wants it. Strong offensive rebound. And Toppin for the slam.
Toppin's holding his head. Did he dunk on his own head?
What do we got? I think we got him at a 42-inch vertical leap.
Yeah, you know you're a leaper when you dunk on your own head.
With that offensive board, by the way, it's another double-double for Oscar Sheboy. He's got 27 and 10 on 10 of 13 shooting from the floor. Washington misfires that time. It's just so easy right now for Sheboy.
Well, it looks easy because he's such a hard worker.
Yep.
And that was one of the first ones because he couldn't grab it with two hands. He just tipped it to himself. Middle ball screen. He draws attention, then still gets it.
And he just got to foul him there. But even with the contact, he could score it.
You're having to rotate over. And good luck trying to stop a Mack truck in the middle of the lane. A Mack truck with touch. Oscar Sheboy has not been good. He has been great. And he's been great all season long.
If you're always asking, where next? Capital One has a new class of travel card for you. Introducing Venture X. Earn 10x miles on hotels and 5x miles on flights booked through Capital One Travel. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges. Find your where next with Venture X. What's in your wallet?
Look, Serena Williams, Matrix. Serena, Matrix. Serena, Matrix.
Get your TV together with the best of live and on demand. Introducing DirecTV Stream.
Singing or speaking.
Reason or fun. Daring or thoughtful. Sensitive or strong. Progress isn't either or. Progress is everything.
This place is going to be rocking.
I just came back for the win.
We're faster.
We're stronger. Success is the best revenge. Better than ever before. Don't get it mistaken. I'm ready for war. I see the house and I'm up in the score. I just came back for the win. They say success is the best revenge.
New seasons, new gear. Show the world what it means to be a fan. 100% authentic fan gear. Fanatics, officially licensed everything.
Two men at two different stages in life can work just as hard and see totally different results when age starts slowing you down. Get Ageless Male Pro T Shred to help boost testosterone that naturally declines with age. Burn more body fat than you would from exercise alone and increase lean muscle when age gets in your way. Get Ageless Male Pro T Shred only at Walmart and be the man you want to be.
Guys, your masculinity is too important to trust to weak, outdated formulas. Tastax 180 for Force Factor is powerful, helping you boost total testosterone, build muscle, increase energy, and improve performance. Rush to Walmart for Tastax 180 for Force Factor.
Time for tonight's Capital One rewarding performance. And Jay, this is no shocker. Oscar Sheboy is a point away from setting a new career high. He's got 29-11.
ESPN News reporting Oscar Sheboy is the player of the game. Still close to 8 minutes to go, but Sheboy has set himself apart in this one with his work rate, his productivity, and he's about to step to the line with an opportunity to hit 30 in this game. Set a new career high.
And it's just incredible, the leap. from a year ago. And remember, he left West Virginia midway through the year, kind of a dubious season, and just a breakout junior season in Kentucky.
Well, he's continued to develop, and the Kentucky staff has done a great job, not only with Sheboy, but Kellen Grady. Kellen Grady's quickened up his release, and Grady gave some credit to the idea that keeping his head still and not letting it rock back has really helped his shooting. But at Davidson, they ran a lot of motion. They didn't shoot the ball as quickly as Kentucky does, so he's had to be ready to fire quicker here than he was at Davidson. He's a 2,000-point scorer at Davidson. He's a big-time player.
It goes back to your point, just Kentucky with some players that could specialize. It's Grady as the shooter, Sheboy as the rebounder. Meanwhile, Scottie Pippen Jr. He missed that free throw, but he's got 25. And he has had to be option A, B, and C at times tonight, outside of what Trey Thomas has provided. Just 2 Commodores in double figures. That's it. And remember, Vandy playing. Oh, look at this. The lob to Toppin. Taken off from way outside the paint.
Kentucky doing a really nice job of spreading the floor and not settling for action on the first side of the floor. Get it to the second side and took advantage of it on a ball reversal.
I think it was that was that 42-inch vertical leap once again. He snares another rebound.
Yeah, he's got another step on his ladder that most players can't imagine.
My goodness. Again, it's just been a difficult night for Vandy. Playing without Rodney Chapman. Look at this one, by the way.
Just a little screen roll on an open side. Laura Brown late getting there. But it's awfully nice for Davion Mintz to know that he can throw it as high as he wants. You know, Jacob Toppin's biggest concern was making sure he didn't hit his head on the rim.
Yes, he just beat me to it. I think he took care of the noggin this time. Boy, a great energy player off the bench, the junior from Brooklyn. Again, if the last name is familiar, Obi, his brother, he was a high-flying player as well at Dayton. And you see the similarities there.
And Rodney Chapman, who's out for Vanderbilt, and Vanderbilt also missing Liam Robbins, who transferred in from Minnesota, started his career at Drake. When they get Robbins back, which is expected sometime in February, he'll be their starting center and likely second leading scorer.
I led the Big Ten a year ago in blocks per game, and you're right, he could shoot it, he could score. There's Bryce Hopkins. And Kentucky's lead grows to 28. Again, the largest of the evening, coming up on the 6-minute mark.
You know, Hopkins is going to be a good player.
Yeah.
Like, he's had some really good minutes in this game. He's a top 50 recruit. He committed originally to Louisville. But he's versatile, and he can be a post presence at times when he wants to be. But at his size, he's physical, can be imposing. He's got good upside.
Sheboy gets the ovation. You think that's going to endear you with Wildcat fans? Decommit from Louisville and then go play at Kentucky.
Oh, they knew that already.
Damian Collins wants one. And the rebound down to Shane Dezzoni. Earned his first start of the year today. With Chapman out. Freshman on the attack. Lays it in. Pretty move.
Well, Jordan Wright has really improved his game from last year to this. He had 15 against South Carolina, knocked down 4 threes in that game. But he's an athletic wing, and you can see he makes plays going to his left.
Washington got tied up momentarily by Pippen. And eventually does force the tie-up. Vanderbilt basketball.
Well, Vanderbilt's trying to take some chances. They're putting 2, that time 3 on the ball. And if you throw out of that, you're going to have some good opportunities on the backside. But Ty Washington just couldn't throw out. A little horn set now for Vanderbilt.
And Stute launches. He splashes a deep 3. And that's Miles Stute.
It just went off one side, then a screen on the other. And it's been pretty rare for Vanderbilt to get that kind of open shot in this game.
That's just their 6th, make it their 10th, pardon. They're 10 of 26 from deep. Collins, the takeoff was maybe a little too aggressive. He still tried to lay it up there with both hands.
You give him credit, he took it hard.
Look at Pippen, that quick burst to the rack. You know, it's odd to say a 27-point game maybe overshadowed, but that's how good Kentucky has been offensively today. Lob this one up, and Laura Brown was able to knock it loose. Pippen, hesitation, drive and kick. 3 in the corner, the lefty this time, Gabe Dorsey, who hasn't played the last couple of games, misfires. Pippen says, I've got one more. And he converts, now 29.
Well, that's an example of Scottie Pippen Jr. using, shot fakes and ball fakes to get the defender off balance. Alert play to take it away. Boy, it is hard to find wins in this league, and Kentucky getting any road win in this league is big.
Yep.
A little floppy set for Kellen Grady.
Toppin kicks out. Grady with 1. He's got to just let it fly. Shot clock violation. Kentucky 3:27 away from winning its 11th straight against Vandy. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Progressive Insurance. Save when you bundle auto, home, or motorcycle insurance. Visit progressive.com.
Wing of bat and foot of crow, eagle's egg and seagull's toe. It's a wasp and ooze a fly, soon I too can take to the sky.
Mom, are you still busy cooking?
Well, you're welcome to come and help me a bit, Freya.
Mom, there's no helping you anymore. Don't you know? Red Bull gives you wings.
You are an electric vehicle. Electricity powers your heart. Want to feel your heartbeat faster? Drive an electric car. Made by a company whose EVs have gone 5 billion miles. For every highway, every driveway, and every speedway. And where the loudest sound is the beat of your electric heart. This is the new Nissan.
Baby got back.
Unlimited cashback match. Only from Discover.
TracFone Wireless gives you unlimited carryover data. $20, no contract.
$20? Wow, that's great.
Yeah, hit decline. I don't want to talk to her. Hit me. Get me. This is your wake-up call, people. TracFone Wireless. Now you're in control.
I'm those fries you've been craving. I'm hot, and I'm steamy, and oh man, do I smell delicious. I'm calling your name. Oh, Doug. Doug. And if you don't have the right auto insurance coverage, paying for these repairs may be tough to swallow.
Get Allstate and be better protected from mayhem for a whole lot less.
Something happened to me.
What you call an icon living?
I found the girl. My powers are beginning to manifest.
You are exceptional.
Naomi, new series coming this week to the CW and the CW app.
Join Planet Fitness now for zero enrollment, $10 a month, extended to January 14th. Zero enrollment? And $10 a month.
That makes me so happy.
It's this place, I tell you.
Amen, baby.
Feel Spectacular in 2022 for zero enrollment, $10 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends January 14th.
Brandon Moreno, the undisputed flyweight champion! King Ado wants that title back. The next chapter in the epic saga for the flyweight title.
Number 1 Baylor in a fight with Texas Tech. Coach L.J. Pryor's been good.
He's got deep range. Every single night in the Big 12, it's a rock fight. The best defensive conference in all of college basketball. Hard to get an easy bucket.
Tie game over on ESPN 2. Meantime, Alabama's a basketball school anyway. Off the loss to Georgia in football last night, The Tide will have their hands full with Jabari Smith, maybe the top prospect for the NBA. Alabama-Auburn camp next.
Big one, top 25 battle. It's coming up in about 20 minutes. What an evening for Oscar Tshiebwe, the first Kentucky player with 30 and 10 since Tayshaun Prince. That was back in 2001 against North Carolina.
Played for the great Tubby Smith at Kentucky. And it was so nice to see Tubby Smith, now the coach at High Point, honored at Rupp Arena, getting a banner up in Rupp. Would have been nicer to give him some soft serve ice cream. I mean, that's the real honor at Rupp.
Yeah.
Have you had that?
It sounds like I know what I'm getting next time I'm in Rupp Arena.
Off the charts.
Are you a chocolate vanilla swirl soft serve guy?
It doesn't matter. Whatever they have there, I'm eating it. It's outstanding.
Get the best of both worlds there.
I mean, you think back to some of the teams that Tubby Smith had, obviously winning the national championship in 1998, but could have easily won it in 03 when they lost to Marquette, when Dwayne Wade had that triple-double. If I remember right, Keith Bogans was injured. It was either Keith Bogans or Joe Crawford, but they had a great opportunity. Tizzoni taking it all the way, got the foul on Tshiebwe. But he also had other opportunities to get to the champion. Remember, they lost a game against Michigan State. Patrick Sparks hit that big shot.
Yes.
Overtime game. And Tubby had some great teams at Kentucky.
Yeah,
and I still think one of the all-time great runs in college basketball history was 96, 97, 98. I mean, Kentucky was an overtime period against Arizona from a three-peat. And in today's game, I mean, that's extraordinary.
I mean, several times they ran through the SEC, went undefeated, won a couple of SEC titles with unblemished marks. And you're right on. They dominated.
And that 96 team that Rick Pitino had is still one of the historically great teams in college basketball. I'm actually going to see one of their former players, Mark Pope, when BYU takes on Gonzaga on Thursday.
That was New Year's Eve, by the way. Basketball stays here, but you're right. High Point visited Rupp Arena, and his name, his banner lifted up to the rafters.
Just the way his former players talked about his impact, not just on the court, but the kind of man that Tubby Smith is and has been. I mean, there's not a better human being that's coached college basketball than Tubby Smith. Just a wonderful person.
Meanwhile, Scottie Pippen Jr., it may be in a losing effort. We'll see. There's still less than 2 minutes to go, but 32 points on 6 of 11 shooting from deep.
Kentucky was able to absorb several fouls there, getting the ball up court, but
and then you get Tizzoni for that one. And Jerry Stackhouse's team, we've highlighted it, playing without Rodney Chapman. That's one of their starting guards. No Liam Robbins all year. Expected back maybe early February, Jerry said the other day.
Well, Robbins is going to make a big difference if he comes back healthy. He's a skilled big guy at 7 feet, can step away, can post. You know, he averaged almost 3 blocks a game at Minnesota. He's the nephew of Ed Conroy, a former head coach at Tulane, who's on Jerry Stackhouse's staff.
Now here's who Kentucky has coming up, and you will see them play Tennessee inside Rupp Arena. Make note, all soft serve vendors inside the facility. You know, that's a good defensive Volunteers team. Here's the upcoming schedule.
And Texas A&M is really playing well of late. That's a team that forces a ton of turnovers, forces about 19 per game. And then at Auburn, that place is a sweat box that's tough to win.
On the drive, Quentin Millara-Brown tips it back in. So it's back to a 12-point game. There's 60 seconds left. Studi got his hand on that one.
Well, Vanderbilt has continued to play.
Yeah.
And this is probably something that they should have done a little bit earlier, is bring a little bit more full court pressure. I mean, the game's well in hand for Kentucky. I know John Calipari wants them to finish it out better than they are right now.
A bizarre finish, and Kentucky had a 28-point lead. Since that moment in the game, Vandy's on a 16-0 run to have it back to a 12-point game. Mids floats it up. That's offline. And stays here. You mentioned Auburn coming up next. It's the in-state battle. You've got a top 25 clash, Auburn, Alabama. Our friends Carl Ravitch, Jimmy Dykes have that one for you in about 15 minutes right here on ESPN. And Auburn has ascended back inside the top 5 for the first time in more than 2 decades.
Good fake.
Toppin rises. Mintz tips it out. And John Calipari says, let's hold. Let's use the remainder of this shot clock. But Kentucky, just so much firepower. 53% shooting from the field, 50% from deep. They hit 10 free throws and overwhelmed Vanderbilt on the offensive side often tonight.
Yeah, we've talked about the Southeastern Conference being perhaps the best conference in the country. And one of the measures is in this league, you can play well and lose. And to me, that's the mark of a great league.
Kentucky's going to make it 11 in a row against Vanderbilt. And back-to-back wins after that LSU loss. 78-66 the final. We'll have the boss in a few minutes. We'll talk to John Calipari momentarily. But Jay, Kentucky 53% from the field. It wasn't just Oscar Tshiebwe. Ty Washington with 15. Davion Mintz, Kellen Grady hit shots when they had to. And this is a highly efficient offense.
Well, Kentucky didn't finish out the game the way John Calipari wanted. But overall, an outstanding performance without the engine of this team. Xavier Wheeler still out with that neck strain from the LSU game. First 4 minutes when he, look at Oscar Tshiebwe. What a nice
He's got
guy,
that good smile too. He's gonna show that off.
Well, he was outstanding. I mean, just everywhere.
Yeah, the 30 points and the 13 rebounds for Oscar Tshiebwe. We have the head man. John Calipari is with us, Coach. Thank you for joining us post-game here. We're just talking about Oscar. It's another impressive performance, the 30 and 13. Just how do you describe his relentlessness and his work on the floor?
He's one of the hardest working kids that I've had, and we're holding him accountable. We have our evaluating sprints. They're graded for the whole game if they don't sprint. So all of a sudden he's beating guys up the court. The second thing is his body is so big, he's a terrific screener on a ball screen. You can say what you want, but when you're 255, you know, it's a tough thing. And then Ty plays games in that pick and roll that makes us pretty good. But, you know, again, I thought Keon played way better today. He's doing some good stuff. Our defense was good. I'm just, and you two know I'm aggravated at the last 5 minutes. Come on.
Yeah.
You know, but look, let's take this and walk. You know, it's a hard court to play on, but it was a good win.
Cal, do you feel that with Xavier Wheeler out and the way that Ty Washington has played, that Wheeler's going to come back to a better Kentucky team than he left?
Well, look, when I had Jamal, when I had Tyrese, when I had guys playing off the ball that were like Ty, you won't believe this. He may run the wing, but he'll eventually get it and be able to make plays. I mean, so, but I'll tell you what Xavier does. His ball pressure, his disruptiveness, and his speed with the ball makes us run faster. And so, yeah, how about Davion today?
Yep.
Davion played great. Kellen's playing good. I mean, you know, I was so happy for Bryce. The issue, and Jay, you know this, high school kids don't understand the level, pace, and speed of a college game. So if they don't practice that way, they get in a game and they're behind the action. Leads to bad shots, turnovers, you're behind the action on defense. We've been on it with him and he's responded. Instead of pouting, he's responded. So you see him today played pretty darn good. Played good.
Well, I'll tell you, John, what I don't understand is you've gone casual for most of the season, and you've gone back to suited and booted. Like, what is the deal?
My son, bought suits. And always been every game are we wearing suits. So I finally, and again, you guys have to understand, I have to sleep with that kid's mom. You know that. And so he's been all over me about wearing suits, and I'm sweating. I hate it. I'll go back and change as soon as I go in the back.
You talk about accountability. You have a great accountable tailor as well. Woo. Who doubles as your son, Brad. Coach, 78-66 win. We appreciate the time. Good luck. Kentucky now 3-1 in league play, making 11 in a row against Vanderbilt. We'll head to the studio in a moment. For Jay Billis and our entire great crew, I'm Kevin Fitzgerald saying so long from Nashville. Let's go to Bristol.
Seth, suited and booted.
Natalie attired always, Jay and Kev. Here's a look at Walker Kessler. What a season he's having for the Auburn Tigers. We're just getting warmed up with SEC basketball here on ESPN. The second half of our doubleheader, a top 25 matchup, the Iron Bowl on hardwood.
Oh, there's my little nephew. He looks more like Dad every time I see him. Dad is old. Right. So your message said you wanted to talk about insurance? I said I want you to talk about insurance. Well, most people know that bundling home and auto saves you money. Keep saying your words. But did you know that new customers who bundle and save with Progressive can save an average of $800? Sleeping baby. I love you too.
My two favorites.
Looks like you already chose your favorite.
Nice. Two favorites.
I'm gonna take this now.
Enjoy any two classics for $6, like the Quarter Pounder with cheese and 10-piece beef nuggets for a limited time at McDonald's.
Are you sure you want to do this?
Yes, I'm positive.
I mean, I love that you're trying to help, but why this way?
Because there's a lot going on in the world, and this is how I can help. So, what do you think?
It's time to start your own business, to turn your dream into something official. LegalZoom has helped launch and support millions of small businesses. Start an LLC, corporation, or nonprofit with LegalZoom. Let's make it official.
Mom, we found a new pet.
Mom's watching the game right now.
I used to play some hoop back in the day.
He had the shortest shorts on the team.
Honey, there's something wrong with his dinner.
Mom, it's hungry.
Time out! Refinance with Rocket Mortgage at a low rate. You can turn your home's equity into cash and get your own space to watch the game.
Thank you.
When you're ready to upgrade your home game, Rocket can.
Best 2 out of 3.
It's one fantastic ride. The turbocharged, tech-inspired new Kia Forte.
Ooh, this looks good. You know, it's about your passion. It's about what you feel. What makes me smile. What makes me feel like me is having a pair of fly and affordable frames. With the right pair of frames, you can celebrate your style and your outlook.
Sounds like a hit to me.
We are cutting you down to more SEC basketball here on ESPN. Auburn, Alabama in a matter of moments. Coach Seth Greenberg, LaFonso Ellis, Kevin Connors here on a great night of basketball, great Tuesday of college action. Let's get you caught up with USC and Stanford starting today a little bit early. Coach Harrison Ingram is a star.
Harrison Ingram, 6'7", freshman, one of the best freshmen in the country. He's got versatility, can step out and shoot it. Had a double-double today with 20 points and 10 rebounds.
USC was unbeaten coming into this game. What did we learn about the Trojans?
They're a solid defensive team. They're not a top-5 team in the country. They have the inability to really break you down and get easy baskets, but they are an NCAA tournament team and a top 25 team.
lose for the first time this season. How about the win for Stanford, now 9-4, 75-69. Fonz, Texas Tech, Baylor, top 20 matchup over on ESPN2. Defensively, these two make you earn everything.
There's no question about it. You better have some guys out there on the floor who can get the ball on the floor and get to the basket. And that's really been the difference in this game is the defense of Texas Tech has been outstanding. They forced 13 turnovers in this game and has 17 points off of those turnovers. Big key, Clarence Nadoli's development as a playmaker off the dribble has been huge for Texas Tech.
You saw the athleticism of the 5-star recruit, Kendall Brown. How about Adonis Arms cleaning up, Coach?
Adonis Arms is a big-time shooter. Texas Tech makes you react to them because they keep you on one side of the floor and make you make plays. The one thing about Baylor, they're unflappable. They just continue to play. They get everything out of their offense. They're extremely unselfish.
Matthew Meyer puts it in there. Baylor up 1 over on ESPN2. Iowa State, Kansas, the great Roy Williams in the house.
And Wicked Wanda with him. That's pretty good right there. It's nice that he can go back and enjoy the success that he had right there. Ochai Abaji's been absolutely terrific. Had 13 in the first half. And he's been the key. But no Remy Martin for Kansas right now. Without Remy Martin, all of a sudden, Kansas 10 turnovers. No one to really facilitate and get him an easy basket unless it's in transition. And David McCormick's got to give him something in the low post. Iowa State, another team that keeps you on one side of the floor, makes you react to them. And Iowa State's mixed up their defenses a little bit. Iowa State, a veteran team, they've done a great job with the portal, bringing veteran players from the Big Ten and the Big 12.
Yes.
They play really hard.
TJ Altzenberger's done a tremendous job there in year 1 at Iowa State. As for Kansas, Coach, Abaji's played well. Christian Brown's been very, very good. Jalen Wilson recently has played well. What else did they have to get moving forward?
They've got to get some inside scoring. I mean, David McCormick, you're talking about a guy that averaged 13 points a game and about 7 rebounds, and they're not getting anything out of him. And then the other thing is they need Remy Martin. Remy Martin has not been healthy the last 2 games he's played, but he really wasn't himself. They need him to be selectively aggressive. What I mean by that is the guy averaged almost 20 points a game at Arizona State. So he's got to facilitate and get other people involved. But he's also got to pick his spots to get downhill, to make plays, to look for his own. Inside scoring, Remy Martin, more involved, and they got to guard the ball a little bit better. But, you know, right now, Kansas is not a top 10 team either. Not the way they're playing right now.
Meantime, Fonz, in the other big Big 12 battle going on right now over on ESPN2. Look, deservedly so, we talk a lot about this Baylor team. It's remarkable how much they have changed what's the pieces in that backcourt and the productivity that they've gotten out of this new crop.
Oh, there's no question about it. And that really starts with James Akinjo. Remember when James Akinjo was at Georgetown? You know, he was a guy who was trying to get in the lane and score for himself, not necessarily a playmaker. Goes to Arizona, that changes. He becomes a better three-point shooter, plugs into Baylor. He's really the engine that makes it go. His patience and poise that he's shown this year has been absolutely sensational, able to get in the gap and make plays for himself and his teammates, and the ability to knock down the 3-ball opens up the floor. He's been absolutely terrific for the Baylor Bears.
You know, Kevin, you think about it, they lose 2 guys to the NBA draft, and Jared Butler, obviously, and Davion Mitchell.
Yes.
And L.J. Cryer gives him a jump shooter. Obviously, Adam Flagler's role change. But like Fonz just said, Akinjo's just a little bit different. If you look at his numbers, absolutely incredible. Over the last 6 games, 20 points a game, 40% from the 3, 6 assists a game, and he's bought into the identity and the culture of Baylor basketball. The thing about Baylor, to me, that makes them a little bit different is they're unflappable. You know, whether they're leading or whether they're behind, they always kind of have the same heartbeat. And that's a reflection of Scott Drew and their ability to just get to the next play. And Kendall Brown, one of their freshmen, is one of the best freshmen in the country. He's a 6'9" kid, great bounce, and a very good passer. But they've got their hands full with Texas Tech. Texas Tech is not a good defensive team. They're a great defensive team. They got Kevin McCullough back today. They still don't have Terrence Shannon, and yet they're throwing a line in the sand every single play on the road at Baylor after they just knocked off Kansas.
I was going to say Kansas found out how good they were the other night. And again, as Coach said, the only undefeated team right now playing in their building, defending national champions, and Texas Tech is in front. That game going on over on ESPN2. Back to the SEC we go, South Carolina and Tennessee. Outside shooting a factor for the Vols in this one, Coach. It's a Tennessee team that's a little tough to figure out right now.
Look, they really can defend. They're physical defense like all Rick Barnes teams, but this is what they've got to do. There's Josiah James knocking down that three. They're playing at a faster pace. They're shooting more threes. But one thing is shoot more threes. You got to make more threes. Better ball movement right there. Elite defensive team. They've got to get a wing guy to step up and give them consistent scoring. Vescovi can make shots, but hasn't shot it that well early in the season.
There's Nate Oates, the head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Just got the handshake done.
Jacket right
That
there.
is a big-time jacket. Bruce Pearl and the Auburn Tigers in Tuscaloosa tonight. We got a dynamite SEC showdown coming your way here in about 4 minutes here on ESPN.
They're shaking hands like they like each other.
Exactly. Yeah. For 40 minutes tonight, they certainly won't. Hey, Fonz, we talked about Alabama. We'll get to Fonz here in just a minute here, Coach. As for the Auburn Tigers, you know what? Jabari Smith, potential #1 overall pick here for Auburn. They've won 11 straight games, haven't lost since November. When you watch Auburn, what is it that makes them a special team?
They attack you offensively and defensively, and the development of Walker Kessler has absolutely been huge because you're talking about a 7-footer with a 7'7" wingspan. He can switch his ball screen. He's going to see a lot of ball screens. He's averaging 5.4 blocks a game right in the last 6 games. Been terrific defensively, and then you got a guy like Jabari Smith. You can put him anywhere on the floor to create a matchup problem. He's got a middle game, and this is Auburn basketball. Good, better, best. 45% three-point shooter. Jabari Smith steps right in there. Their ability to move him in the action and move him around. He's the toughest matchup in this game. The most important thing Auburn's got to do, they're going to have to set their defense and defensive transition. Really important. And they've got to do a good job of guarding ball screens.
Fonz, Alabama has beaten Gonzaga and Houston. How do they find consistency?
He says that thumbs up. Let's get to this game. He can't wait to get to this game.
He's ready to go.
Fonz in a box, but he's fired up for Auburn, Alabama.
Hey, look, it's cold outside. That explains why Fonz was freezing here for us in studio. We'll hear from Fonz at the half. But in the meantime, we've got a great SEC battle coming your way. Auburn on the road in Tuscaloosa to take on Alabama. Carl Ravitch, take it away.
All right, Kevin, it is hot inside here, Coleman Coliseum. Welcome to Super Tuesday, presented by Progressive. And, of course, Tuesdays follow Mondays. And it didn't go well for the Crimson Tide last night. They grabbed the lead late, and then they watched Georgia grab some touchdowns and a pick six. And this ultimately led to the quarterback of Georgia getting tears in his eyes because he realized Georgia was going to win its first ever championship. Nick Saban and Alabama were after their 19th since the late 1800s. But they have turned the page here, and they are ready for another road to a title, hoping their basketball team can get its first. They're taking on a team that also has championship hopes, and Auburn has moved all the way up to #4 in the country. The Tigers enjoy arguably the best home court advantage in basketball. But tonight, Coleman Coliseum is on fire. Welcome, everyone, alongside my buddy Jimmy Dykes. I'm Carl Ravitch, and yes, this is as heated a rivalry as you can get all of a sudden in the SEC.
Yeah, when Bruce Pearl got hired, he wanted to make the Auburn-Alabama game very important. Well, it is.
Yeah.
I know it's just one conference game in January, but it certainly feels much, much bigger than that. This is as fierce of a rivalry as we have not only in the SEC, but in all of college basketball.
The guys in the studio broke it down a little bit, take it a step further. Both teams have really good guards.
Yeah.
So if that's a wash, where's the difference?
Well, for Auburn, it should be on the inside with Jabari Smith and Walker Kessler. These two guys have tremendous length and tremendous games to back up their length as well. You look at Walker Kessler on the left, Ravi, second in the nation in block shots. The most impactful defender we have in the SEC. His buddy Jabari Smith, I think, will be the next #1 point guard pick overall because he does so much of everything. As he makes your passer, the mid-range game is pure. The three-point stroke leads Auburn right now. This is an Auburn team that can really, really run the floor and score bunches in a hurry, as can Alabama. The difference in the game, if the guard play is equal, could very well be the two bigs for Auburn.
Walker Kessler went to North Carolina, but he had nearly committed to come to Auburn. He then went to Chapel Hill, fell in love with the program, joined the program, and now he is transferred back to a place he's very comfortable at. And boy, has he been a difference maker. Had a triple-double with 11 blocks in a game earlier this year. Auburn has taken care of some business Last year, they were thumped by LSU. They already beat LSU twice last year. They were beaten by Alabama. And here's a chance to get some revenge for Bruce Pearl against the Crimson Tide.
And the question for Alabama is what Alabama team's going to show up, because they have shown their muscle with wins against Gonzaga and Houston. They've also have fallen flat on their face, especially on the defensive end, in losses to most recently Missouri and Memphis. This is an Alabama team that they tend to rise up, a rising tide in terms of who they play against. I expect a phenomenal defensive effort from Alabama tonight.
7'1" Walker Kessler will go up against the freshman 7-footer Charles Bediako. And the ball quickly into the hands of KD Johnson. And just like that, within 4 seconds, Auburn's on top 2-zip. And that guy plays with as much energy as anyone in the nation. Jawan Gary to the hole. Oh, pretty spin move with that left hand. And just like that, we're 2-2 early.
And it is not easy to get 2-point shots to drop against Auburn. One of the best 2-point defenses in all of college ball.
So Gary draws the assignment on Jabari Smith. He wears number 10 for Auburn. Johnson's three too strong. Long rebounds can lead to runouts, and Alabama likes to push. Shackelford is the sharpshooter. He broke an ankle there, and he couldn't bury the three. Alan Flanagan fell on the defensive end.
We know Alabama is going to attempt 29, 30 3-point shots per game. The long rebounds will go a long ways to determining who wins this ball game.
Flanagan missed a lot of the early part of the season, but he's back now, and you could make the case coming into the season, if you were healthy, he'd be the player of the year preseason. Bediako. And they will call a late foul on Kessler. It looked like Bediako thought he was going to dunk it, and all of a sudden, 7'1" creature came out of nowhere to make it a little difficult.
Yeah, Rebby, you're right, though, a really late whistle, because Kessler rotates over, and his timing, his footwork, his speed, so impressive. His recovery length. Yeah, that's a pretty soft foul to start the game to be called.
So we'll send Bediako to the line, a freshman out of Brampton, Canada. He's just a 53% free throw shooter. And there are a lot of elements to this game that reflect a freshman, and yet there is so much potential there.
The instincts are there in terms of finding the ball as a shot blocker and just roaming the middle part of the floor and making plays. Where he struggles with, and it's typical for a freshman, when he has to start making back-to-back decisions on the defensive end of the floor.
Well, that's a good sign. The last time we saw Bediako, we were together shooting free throws. He hit the backboard really hard, then the back of the rim. Now he drops a couple of free throws in.
Two strong drives by Auburn to start the game for scoring plays.
Javon Cornely right in the face of Zeph Jasper, and now down low to Kessler. Cutting was Flanagan. That pass is picked off by Keon Ellis. Like a defensive back, stepped in front of the receiver. And now he drives with a Euro step to Bediako, who throws it up, but he's going to get called for steps. Here's the Kessler impact inside.
Yeah, it's not just the block shots of Kessler. It's his ability to take on a ball screen defensively with any coverage you want to throw at him. And then he can really disrupt your timing around the rim.
8th year here at Auburn for Bruce Pearl. And we showed you the starting five. They have 9 guys, all of whom could start. Smith falls. There's a whistle. And we're going to get a foul on Alabama. Call made by Joe Lindsay, one of our 3 officials tonight. He, Terry Oglesby, and Bart Lennox. So the last 2 games, Jimmy, Auburn's bench has outscored the opponent 75-20. The last 2 games.
I think the Auburn bench is the separator for them in this league right now. They have 2 of everything, and it's their defensive depth, Rabbi, that has impressed me so much this year for Auburn. Not a bad defender Bruce Pearl puts on the floor.
Jalen Williams getting the time. He had started a whole bunch of games for them last year. He's one of those guys who could have transferred when somebody like Jabari Smith shows up. Williams stays. We've seen so many guys choose the portal. He didn't. And that may eventually be rewarded because Jabari Smith on the free throw line is a one-and-done guy.
He's a one-and-done guy that I think will be the #1 pick overall. I say that because the versatility of his game. This kid loves to train. He's serious about the game. He wakes up with a plan. You see all the rankings. He's an A in everything. He needs to be a better rebounder, and I think he's going to grow in that position. The similarity I see with him and Kevin Durant at similar age, they both love ball. Ball is important to Jabari Smith as it was to Kevin Durant that first year on a college campus. Very important.
Missed that free throw. Of course, his dad was a terrific player at LSU. Quinley tried to kick it in the corner. Darius Miles into the game for Alabama. He spells Juwan Gary, who picked up the foul. And on the other side, Nate Oates has very quickly turned this Alabama basketball program around. Last year, of course, they won the regular season and conference tournaments. And both these teams mirror each other a lot, Jimmy. They'll shoot a lot of threes. There's a pro-style offense to both of them. And they play intense defense. Ironically, for Oates, critical of his program's effort against Missouri in a loss in which it was the effort that wasn't there.
Well, as well he should be, because the lack of effort was a big part of that loss at Missouri. And to follow your point, the similarities with Auburn and Alabama.
Yeah.
Both teams very confident, very cocky, very aggressive how they go about things.
Shackelford finger roll. He got it by Smith, and he lays it up and in.
I'm going to say again, Ravi, it's very difficult. Auburn is the best two-point percentage team in the country protecting their rim on those rim shots.
Except Jasper using that right arm to push off on Quinley, and Nate Oates is letting Joe Lindsey, the official, know it. Smith pull up three, soft.
Some say he settles. I say take as many of those as you can get. The fadeaway jump shot at the mid-range, no, but those straight-up threes by Jabari Smith, let them fly.
Jasper and Quinley already just a few minutes into this game are having a battle at the point guard position. Quinley had his pocket picked into the hands of Bediako. Ellis, and they're going to get Kessler, I think, on the foul. Let's see. Yes, they are.
That's a big, big call. Walker Kessler has the right to go straight up as a defender inside the restricted arc, and Bruce Pearl's saying what I saw. Walker Kessler has been phenomenal at defending the rim without fouling, and that is not a foul on Walker Kessler according to the rules. He's going straight up, throwing a wall up like he's supposed to. And that was a swing and a miss by the officials early.
Second foul on Kessler, so that's huge. That'll bring in Dylan Cardwell, who's averaging about 12 minutes a game. Kessler goes to the bench. Sepp Jasper also goes to the bench, and he's replaced by Wendell Green. So we're going to see some of that depth early here. A, because of foul trouble, and then B, in the case of a guy like Green, because, well, he's really good.
Ravi, that was offense-initiated contact, and a huge call in this game. The most impactful defender in this league will now set for the rest of the first half.
He's out with 16:59 to go. 8-8 game on a Super Tuesday. Alabama and Auburn.
And now that depth of Auburn will be tested. Cardwell more than capable of banging and holding his own around the rim. 44 in orange.
Wendell Green, a little blow by, and good hands by Quinley to knock it loose. Here comes Shackelford. Got Smith off his feet, and Jabari still able to block it at 6'10".
Ravi, just not a good shot. No paint touch. First side of the floor, not going to work.
Flanagan decides to drive instead of settling for the outside shot, and he missed the layup. Very quick pace for both teams. Quinterly into traffic. Left hand, pretty play. Javon Quinterly.
The speed is electric. Out of 13 in white. In transition, man, he seeks that elbow as well as any point guard in the country.
In a lot of ways, this is his team. Jabari Smith over any defender that's on him. That time it was Miles, and off to a good start, Jabari Smith.
Jabari Smith is only shooting 28% on mid-range shots, but it's the fadeaways that get him in trouble. So far, straight up, straight down in this game on the release.
Turnover, it'll be Auburn's ball when we come back.
Lightning quick feet and magician hands is what this kid has. And his blow-by ability and his ability to win the nail, win the elbow in transition is special. Roll Tide, War Eagle, and a tight one early.
To the people who reach into a carton of warm, crispy, golden, perfectly salted McDonald's world-famous fries and return with just one. Who are you, and how do you do that? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
What if I was an overly enthusiastic personal trainer? Could I still get the Patrick price?
Yep. State Farm has rates that fit any budget.
Sweet.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or click to get a quote today. Wasn't me.
You're never responsible for unauthorized purchases on your Discover card.
Something happened to me.
What you call an icon living?
I found the girl. Her powers are beginning to manifest.
You are exceptional.
Naomi, new series coming this week to the CW and the CW app.
I recently learned of a ship.
What kind of a ship? A spaceship?
No. It's a membership to Planet Fitness.
And just $10 a month?
That's right, Angry Reactions guy from TikTok.
Feel Fitacular in 2022 for zero enrollment, $10 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends January 14th.
What if your resume could adapt and improve? Even create opportunities that let you be seen. An Indeed resume never stops working for you. Red Bull gives you wings.
You are an electric vehicle. Electricity powers your heart. Want to feel your heartbeat faster? Drive an electric car, made by a company whose EVs have gone 5 billion miles. For every highway, every driveway, and every speedway. And where the loudest sound is the beat of your electric heart. This is the new Nissan.
As a DJ, I know all about customization. That's why I love Liberty Mutual. They customize my car insurance, so I only pay for what I need.
How about a throwback?
Liberty, 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 liberty. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty. You know, at the top, Jimmy talked about how Bruce Pearl wanted this to feel a little bit like an Iron Bowl. Go back to November 27th. Alabama was on the verge of being knocked out of any championship contention, and they rallied. Bryce Young hit Ja'Cory Brooks, then a two-point conversion of John Mechie. They won 24-22. Josh Primo, back on January 9th of 21, a 94-90 win. Bruner was terrific. And then game two, Jaden Shackelford, a couple of buckets. He had a game-high 23. Alabama beat him in both games last year. Alabama was beating everybody last year, and boy, they lost a lot from last year's team. But if you go over the history here, Alabama with a win tonight would win the 100th in their 165th meeting. Alabama's won 3 of the last 4, and this is the 4th meeting in which both teams are in the top 25, although Alabama is close to falling out of the top 25. That's why it's such a big game for both teams. Chance for Alabama to reassert themselves, and Auburn to really drive a stake into the SEC and make a big statement. K.D. Johnson, that looked like a near goaltend, but Cardwell was there for the follow.
Robbie, one of those games that there's great value in just getting the ball up on the glass.
Yeah.
Both these teams, man, they eat it for dinner. On that offensive glass in particular, again, you win the elbow, you win the rim.
Now, J.D. Davison is into the game, so you have K.D. Johnson on one team and J.D. Davison on the other for Alabama. That's a good shot block, so Cardwell, who's playing for Kessler, with a follow-up dunk and now a block. Smith's got 6. He's off with a 3. And a good blocks out because there is a big advantage for Auburn on the offensive glass. Great pass off the fingertips of Gurley.
Talked about the value of just getting the ball up on the rim in this game because of the foot speed and the foot race that it becomes to the offensive glass. Depth of Auburn will be tested at that 5 spot. So far, so good.
3 turnovers for the Crimson Tide. Not known as a shooter, and that one's off the iron, but the rebound comes out to Jabari Smith. He will launch a 3, and that's the last 2 shots that have been off badly. Good hustle there. K.D. Johnson, who's apologizing to a fan that he may have made contact with. Not NBA. Wednesday doubleheader. Luka and the Mavs get Julius Randle and the Knicks. That starts us off 7:30 Eastern time. Then DeMar DeRozan. Talk about MVP candidates. He's one of them. He gets former MVPs KD, James Harden, and the Nets. Our NBA doubleheader available on ESPN and the app. One tap. settling down a little bit after a frenetic pace to get this thing going. 14 minutes to go. Auburn by 2. Jesper, yeah, he did. He cleared space for himself, and an offensive foul on Zep Jasper.
What a terrific job by Alabama to move their feet and show their hands. Therefore, once the contact comes, look at Ellis showing his hands, bam, right into the chest. That's an easy call to make. The defensive fight, intensity, passion, purpose on point so far for the team in white.
Davison has had some turnover issues. This time he finds Gurley, and a 3 wide open, and that's a good sign for a guy that hasn't really produced, Darius Miles.
And a really good find by Noah Gurley. Gurley at the 5 spot, to me, is Alabama's best roster. The offense changes with his ability to stretch the floor and be a playmaker as well.
Miles' last 3 games, 1 of 7. High archer, air ball, and all of a sudden, Auburn's got a little cold here.
Threes taken in this game without the ball touching the paint first. Not a recipe for success.
Davison to Gurley. They like that area, and that ball pinned up against the rim. The interior defense continues to be a challenge for Alabama. There's a foul as Katie Johnson drove to the hole.
How good has Cardwell been as the backup 5 for Bruce Pearl? He has been more than solid, but on the other end, Noah Gurley in the middle part of the floor. A playmaking 4-5 is what he is, and you're right about Miles. Has kind of been in the doghouse a couple of times. We were here a couple of weeks ago and did not even see the floor because of a bad practice attitude. But a lot of weapons on that Alabama squad.
Johnson's first free throw, too strong. This guy, Jimmy, plays with a ton of energy. He averaged 13.5 last year at Georgia. How about the impact that Georgia transfers are having on the SEC this year? K.D. Johnson and Severe Wheeler, who's been injured for Kentucky the last few games.
Yeah, 2 high-level guards that have certainly found the right fit for them. And K.D. Johnson talked to you and I about that today. Just the freedom that he's allowed to play with right now and the downhill ability that Bruce Pearl wants out of his guards, he's got.
Tough shot in traffic for Shackelford. He can't get it. And Auburn, who started out 3 of 4, is 2 for their last 9. And of course, they just missed the 2 free throws. That's another miss, so 2 for the last 10. Bruce Pearl will have them keep shooting. Ellis with the drive. Boy, they are attacking the rim. And Keon Ellis will go to the free throw line. Not often that the mode of offensive attack against Auburn is to get it into the paint. That's what Alabama's doing all night.
Yeah, they are putting Alabama immediate pressure on the rim and on the paint. And it is a full head of steam, and forcing Auburn now to have to adjust, build a wall, stop the ball. And forget about the threes right now. Kessler not in the game. He's normally out in front of those plays. Cardwell trying to keep up with it. The Alabama guards winning the transition plays early.
So Keon Ellis at the free throw line, trying to make it a 2-point advantage. This game has been played at a tremendous pace. Bruce Pearl talked about his last game in which his team appeared to be tired, so he took it easier on them. But it's funny, you look over at the bench and the guys that were on the floor, Jimmy, the way this game has started. Cardwell bent over, Johnson bent over, hands on the knees. It's one of those telltale signs of guys that are gassed a little.
Yeah, the pace is fast, the building's hot, and the emotions of the game can also drain you, Rabbi. I expect both teams to settle in, because I think Bruce Pearl is phenomenal at saving his guys' legs during the week. A lot of walkthrough that's 50%, 100% mental capacity out of his guys that he challenges with on practice and days of. But well, you can just feel this game tonight feels different.
So Ellis out, Green is back in, Leroy Berman is now in, Jalen Williams in as well. So you're seeing that depth for Auburn as guys are getting some rest. And again, Kessler 2 fouls early, he's out. There's a fadeaway jump shot that falls for Wendell Green.
Yeah, Alabama icing the action. Wendell Green just says, thank you very much. I'll take the open corner for a pull-up 15-footer. Very well done.
Saw Holt, number 1 in the game for Alabama. Davison. Tough shot, bad shot. Smith with another block. Flanagan finds Green. He's a prolific shooter once he gets it going. We've seen a few of those for Auburn the last couple of years.
You know what Auburn did to Davison? They stayed attached and made him a shooter as opposed to a passer. They did a terrific job of it.
7 on the shot clock. And Berman into the game. Launches, he misses. Offensive rebound. There was some contact on the head of Jalen Williams, but no call.
Again, staying attached on J.D. Davison's drives, not coming off of him because he is a pass first, pass second freshman guard right now.
Another turnover and a run out. Here comes Flanagan. Pretty play. He hesitated, floated in the air, and laid it in.
What a monster scoring step, though, just outside the three-point line that really accelerated him and got him to the rim freed up. Very well done.
Achilles surgery in September. Auburn takes it in the paint. They're 1 of 7 from 3. Nowhere Gurley. He buries it. That's a good look from Davison, who had gone all the way underneath the basket to find him.
He is a big-time threat. Had 20 and 10 last weekend here against Tennessee. He changes how you have to cover Alabama because he is truly a stretch 5.
Second 3 of the game. Miles hit one, and now Gurley hits one. Flanagan baseline, good pass to Berman, and he would not get the shot counted. They're going to call the foul on the baseline on Alabama. Miles had it picked and another turnover. This game is tied early, 18-16. Our exclusive presentation of college basketball presented by Progressive Insurance. Save when you bundle auto, home, or motorcycle insurance. Visit Progressive.com.
Oh, there's my little nephew. He looks more like Dad every time I see him. Dad is old. Right. So your message said you wanted to talk about insurance? I said I want you to talk about insurance. Well, most people know that bundling home and auto saves you money. Keep saying your words. But did you know that new customers who bundle and save with Progressive can save an average of $800? Sleeping baby. I love you too.
Let me tell you, you want to be successful? You gotta hustle. You gotta go the extra mile. Make a name for yourself. Have a firm grip. Always dress for success, and you gotta show them who's boss.
Thanks for coming in. We'll get back to you. Hustle, sure, but for what matters. When you do, it leads to amazing.
Welcome to the next level. The all-new Lexus NX.
People everywhere living with type 2 diabetes are waking up to what's possible with Rybelsus. The majority of people taking Rybelsus lowered their blood sugar and reached an A1C of less than 7. Rybelsus isn't for people with type 1 diabetes. Don't take Rybelsus if you or your family ever had medullary thyroid cancer, or have multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2, or if allergic to it. Stop Rybelsus and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, or an allergic reaction. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis. Tell your provider about vision problems or changes. Taking Rybelsus with a sulfonylurea or insulin increases low blood sugar risk. Side effects like nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea may lead to dehydration, which may worsen kidney problems. Wake up to the possibility of lower A1C with Rybelsus. You may pay as little as $10 for up to a 3-month prescription. Ask your healthcare provider about Rybelsus today.
We picture the student athlete for the drive, the dunk, the dime. But look closer. There is more. The budding philanthropist, the loving son, the multilingual, the nonprofit MBA, the outdoorsman, and the outspoken. More than students, more than athletes.
It's time for the Nets to show their full strength.
Brantula and the Nets, can you contest?
But Chicago is ready to prove it's their time.
DeMar DeRozan delivers!
Nets Bulls, tomorrow on ESPN.
Kevin and Coach in studio. What a game. What a finish in Waco. Texas Tech up 3. Coach, what did you see?
Competitive, relentless. The ability to be connected defensively. Looking right here. That's Santos Silva guarding the basketball as a big. Look at the help. Look at the closeout. Look at the help again. And then the finish shot. Great job, Texas Tech. defensively, just absolutely a clinic on that last possession.
Ravi, first USC, now Baylor goes down. No more unbeatens in college basketball.
Yeah, pretty amazing. And, of course, Texas Tech, before their coach left for Texas, that was their footprint defense, and you saw it all night, and they knock off Baylor. So a big opportunity for Auburn, Jimmy, to climb even higher in the polls, given the loss by Baylor.
Yeah, well, Mark Adams has to be, first of all, considered in that National Coach of the Year conversation right now. Look at UCLA sitting there number 3. Just got a text from Mick Cronin, who was watching the Baylor game, and saying what we all understand. Toughness and defense wins. That's how he's building his program at UCLA. And man, what a phenomenal win by the Red Raiders on the road. Those two things travel if you're good at it.
Flanagan's layup ties this game at 18-18. Auburn continues to struggle from outside. They're 1 of 8. The last couple of buckets commit inside the paint.
Ravi, Auburn is not over-helping in this game. They are staying attached to shooters and trying to guard that ball.
Shackelford's shot too strong. Going up high for it was Gurley. Auburn was interested in Gurley once he entered that transfer portal. Flanagan from way outside.
Whoa.
That was not a good shot at all.
The ball was stuck on the first side of the floor, never gets to the paint. It's a horrible, bad decision by Flanagan.
Davison tipped in by Jawan Gary.
That's the first offensive rebound in the game for Alabama. It's not a box-off game when you play Alabama. It's a speed to the ball, quickness battle, because they turn it into a foot race from the perimeter.
There's a take. Smith with the lay-in with the left. He'll go to the free throw line, and he's got 8 points now.
It is a foot race to the ball when Alabama shoots it. You don't have time to get body on body. It's a foot race and go get it. And Gary just comes flying in from that left corner where he lives out of at the other end. This is the special stuff, man. You're talking about a legit 6'10" guy that you have to come out on the 3 ball, and as soon as you take away his airspace, bam, in 2 steps and a long stride, he's at the rim finish.
So what do you make of Walker Kessler coming back into the game, Jimmy? Is that confidence in your bench that he's playing with 2 fouls?
It's tremendous confidence is what it is. And you know, Walker Kessler, although he's just a sophomore, a lot of ball, and he really thinks the game sometimes to a fault. I think Bruce Pearl trusts him right now to get it 3 or 4 minutes here.
Quinterly blow by.
Wow.
And boy, Smith went up and caught it.
Just ate it up.
5 blocks in the game for Auburn. God. Jabari Smith is having a tremendous night.
Phenomenal, massive combination of size, skill, and competitive fire out of 10 in orange.
They're going to call that foul on the honey badger of Auburn, Seth Jasper.
The big possums normally eat late, but in this game, the big possum's eating early, and that's Jabari Smith, man. His long stride and quickness and toughness around the rim. You put another 15, 20 pounds on his frame, which I know he's capable of handling. You're looking at a long time, I believe, NBA All-Star.
11 points, a rebound, and 3 blocks. He's been everywhere tonight, and we still have 8.5 to go.
You go at Walker Kessler if you're Alabama.
Quinterly shot off to the right. And there's an offensive rebound, second one. That's Darius Miles, who may have gotten the message here recently. Just want to go back to one point you made. Do big possums eat late?
In Arkansas, that's if you're possum hunting,
yeah,
you don't get the ones at 9 or 10 o'clock at night. About 2 a.m.,
the big ones are out.
That's when they roam.
All right. I didn't want to let that go because I wanted to be learned.
Consider yourself learned.
I'm learned. Nothing good happens after 2 in the morning, especially if you're a big possum. 6 of 7 from the line. Alabama. Miles knocks that one down. 7 of 8.
I like what I've seen out of Miles because he was sent a hard, tough message. And as a coach, you want to see how you respond. Another good Campbell defensive play by Ellis.
Shackelford looks at Miles, sees him go to the corner. Now he's got a mismatch with Kessler on him and 2 fouls.
They may have to get gap help.
Oh, wow. Challenged him. Kessler didn't foul him, and Shackelford ties the game at 23.
Alabama understanding they're going to have to make some plays off of 2 feet because Auburn's staying attached on the perimeter. Very well done by Shackelford to play off of 2 and stay on balance with a high release.
No player for Alabama has more than 4 points. The scoring has been tremendously balanced. Green, like Jared Harper used to do, just launched it. They have taken some ill-advised threes, and they'll continue to do so, and it's worked for them. Smith in the paint. That's denied. Bediako back in the game for a block.
Walker Kessler is such a key guy in this game, and Alabama knows it. 13 has 2 fouls, so what do? You get an ISO, you get a mismatch, play off a 2. Watch how high the release is over the 7-1 Kessler. Very well done, Shaq. Well done.
Got our favorites. Chicken McNuggets.
Let me guess, a Big Mac?
What's that?
Where's my McNugget, Dad?
What McNugget?
I can literally see it.
Enjoy any 2 classics for $6, like a Big Mac or 10-piece Chicken McNuggets for a limited time at McDonald's.
I'm a fancy exercise bike newbie, and I've gone from 0 to obsessed in like 3 days. Woo! After riding 12 miles to nowhere, I'm taking a detour.
And if you don't have the right home insurance coverage, you could be working out a way to pay for this yourself.
Get Allstate and be better protected from mayhem for a whole lot less.
There's certain rules to surviving. Believe me, I know.
Whoever this is gonna keep coming for you.
She said we were gonna finish this. Go finish it, Sydney.
Rated R.
Look, Serena Williams, Matrix. Serena, Matrix. Serena, Matrix.
Get your TV together with the best of live and on-demand. Introducing DirecTV Stream.
Expand your limits in the 2022 Lexus GX with Apple CarPlay support.
Get 2.49% APR financing on the 2022 GX 460. The atmosphere is enormous. Zverev says some of the noise here. What a final game! Who will be champion today?
Are prostate concerns keeping you awake? Force Factor Prostate helps reduce nighttime bathroom trips and promote a normal prostate size. I feel like myself again. Rush to Walmart for Force Factor Prostate from the #1 fastest growing men's health brand in America.
We all have obstacles, challenges at different points in life. I still push myself every single day, and the harder I push myself, the more I find myself drawn to wearing OOFOS. The first time I put on a pair of OOFOS, it was like someone released the pressure. It was so crazy. When you are recovered and can do more, that has a compounding effect on all aspects of your life. Stepping into a pair of OOFOS, they're truly one of a kind. There's nothing like them.
And free, and free, and free, and free, free, and free, and free, 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 and free, and free, and free, and free.
That's right. TurboTax Free Edition is free. See details at TurboTax.com.
Welcome back, everyone. You are watching the SEC on ESPN. Carl Ravitch, Jimmy Dykes, and Jabari Smith.
Ravi, as special as his talent is, I think he's just as special as a young man. He's humble, he's kind, he's engaging with everyone around on game day. But he can do it all now, and he makes it look effortless. Such a smooth game for a kid a full 6'10". And you can drive that ball in transition. You can drive it low in the half-court set. You got the foot fakes and the easy release from 3, because he can shoot that thing from the NBA line with terrific ease. And the stage will never be, I don't think, too big for this kid on the college level. He embraces the bright lights, as well you should.
He wanted the entire college experience, Bruce Pro. I mean, there's so many options for kids now with basketball. That one went off the backboard and in. No offensive goaltending, even though there was an Auburn arm up above the rim. Never made contact with the basketball. But Bruce talked to us earlier about how he embraces this whole thing. He's going to other teams' games, hanging out in the cafeteria.
Yeah. And Pearl's done a great job of not forcing or asking too much out of Jabari Smith.
Miles, he grabbed the rebound, and then he got fouled by Jalen Williams. Just one other point on Jabari. You know, when his dad was at LSU and then in the NBA and professionally, it was more of a real number 5. So you're playing back to the basket or you're straight up. A lot of these guys that come from dads that played in the NBA, especially the centers, they're so much more, in a sense, multi-talented. Like this is a guy that could be a 5 at 6'10", but he shoots, he dribbles, he defends, he does so many more things. You wonder if that was the role of his dad to say, you don't want to be just a one-dimensional guy.
Exactly.
Right?
No, exactly right. And that, to Jabari's credit, when he goes to the league, and it'll be after this year, you can play him at the 2 through 5.
Right.
And on both ends of the floor, which is really special.
Jabari's getting a little break, so Devin Cambridge, who's a terrific shooter, too strong with that 3. And boy, they're struggling early from three-point land. Shackelford tries to take Williams and denied. And kept alive, near turnover, and it is. Shackelford missed the layup. Boy, missed opportunity there for the Crimson Tide. Wendell Green, boy, the parting of the Tide Sea there. Nobody played defense.
Now Shackelford just got his feet frozen, stood and watched. And it just takes 3 or 4 missed defensive plays a game to lose a game like this.
Not a good shot for Quinterly over Kessler that was challenged. And not a good couple of minutes there for Alabama. Missed layup, wide open layup on the other end. And then a bad 3, the alley-oop. Yes, sir, Devin Cambridge.
You wonder how long Alabama's defensive intensity was going to last. Well, they're on the ropes right now, and they better find it in this timeout.
You inspired the new Lexus ES to be, well, more you. So thank you. We hope you like your work.
Get $1,500 lease cash toward a 2022 ES350.
I brought in Ensure Max Protein with 30 grams of protein.
Those who tried me felt more energy in just 2 weeks. Here, I'll take that.
Ensure Max Protein with 30 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar, and nutrients to support immune health.
Welcome back. If you blinked in the last 2 minutes, you missed an Auburn tidal wave. Bama's won for their last 7, and they've made it easy on the other end.
Well, the problem right now for Alabama is that they've lost their defensive fight and passion. That's just unexplainable on film tomorrow. When the floor parts that evenly, and then Auburn making a play from the backside off the dribble penetration. Great things have happened for Auburn when they've got the ball in the paint. Same thing for Alabama. When 2 good teams come together, and these are 2, I think, really, really good teams, the number of layups made determines the winner. Can you win the paint battle?
We talked about how the backcourt may be a push when the game started. Right now, we give the advantage to Auburn, whether it's Jesper with the defense or Johnson, Green with a great pass. There's Bediako down low. He was challenged, and he didn't go up with it very strong for a 7-footer.
Bruce Pearl changes the game and comes out of the ATO with a 2-3 zone. That zone has been good to Bruce Pearl against Alabama the last couple of years.
That wasn't a good pass that time, and a 3-on-1. Davison lays it in.
He is as good as anyone in the freshman class in that type of a play. Just his natural instincts, and he is all of 6'5", even without the hair. Big-time explosive guard in transition.
He can jump. All right, 4:50 to go. Alabama down 4. Kessler back to the bench with his 2 fouls. Still plenty of time, 13 on the shot clock.
Bruce Pearl runs as good a stuff as there is offered up in this league offensively. It's simple, but it's good.
Green got in the paint, and now 2 seconds on the shot clock, and it's out of bounds after an air ball.
The run game for Alabama, it got shut down last night against Georgia. It's hard to shut it down in this building, but they can really get out and flood the floor with speed at all 5 positions. You're going to have to score off your defense tonight if you're Bama on your home floor.
6 turnovers for Alabama. For Auburn, I should say. And Alabama will try to cut into that 4-point lead. Quinterly has Holt with him now in the backcourt. Keon Ellis. And here's Davison. Wide open 3, just a little too strong.
Yeah, Auburn not afraid to come off of Davison in that far corner.
31% three-point shooter. K.D. Johnson.
Wow.
Yes.
That's how they play. They'll take 2 or 3 bad ones in a row and then make 2 or 3 in a row.
2, 3, or 7 bad ones. That's a bad pass. Here he comes. Davison can sky. And we're going to get a foul on Davison. So you had K.D. Johnson challenging J.D. Davison. Foul on 3 and white.
Rabbi, K.D. Johnson is a game changer. It is very, very difficult and hard to guard swagger. And if nothing else, that's what that kid has. Swagger and moxie in everything he does. And Mr. Smooth on the bench says, yes, sir.
I love this house.
Play for it.
Time out. Don't play games when the competition is this fierce.
Use a verified approval from Rocket Mortgage instead.
When you need an edge over the competition, Rocket can.
Rocket.
On my travels across the country, I came across this house with water dripping from the ceiling. You never know when something like this will happen. So let the Geico Insurance Agency help you with homeowners insurance and protect yourself from things like fire, theft, or in this case, water damage. Now, if I had to guess, I'd say somewhere upstairs there's a broken pipe.
Geico. Save even more when you bundle home and car insurance at geico.com.
Johnny? Drac? You're human and I'm a monster. I have a dad bod.
The hotel
What is going on?
is going through monster changes.
Lobby?
On January 14th,
If we don't fix you, you'll be like this forever.
the mission is to turn the pack back.
Mosquito! I got him, Johnny Wayne!
Hotel Transylvania Transformania, rated PG, exclusively on Prime Video.
Are you kidding me? I'm getting sick of the industry. Oh, please.
These stuffs wanna kill me, but I won't let it. And I try to give it all, but they don't get it. So I tell myself when I sleep at night, don't lose sight, baby, don't lose sight. This life will get you down, but I keep living. So I tell myself when I sleep at night, don't lose sight, baby, don't lose sight.
Shh, you think she's still awake?
Don't worry.
The Lexus RX, built for modern families.
Get $1,500 lease cash toward a 2022 RX 350.
The Jeep halftime report is on the way. Coming up, a spectacular Big 12 battle. How Texas Tech toppled #1 Baylor. Plus, we'll check in on a career night for Oscar Tshiebwe. Fonz, how has Auburn opened up this 7-point lead?
Well, Alabama's taken a couple of ill-advised shots and turned it over a couple of times, which has allowed Auburn to get out in transition and get some easy ones. Alabama's got to take care of the basketball if they want to try to win this game.
When I think of this Alabama team, they've done a great job of keeping the ball in front, not over helping under his wings so they can run Alabama off the three-point line. That's a check for Auburn. The second thing is they beat them down the floor, and they've dominated the paint. Exactly the things Bruce Pearl told me last night he had to do.
A great start, Ravi.
Sure is. How about Seth name-dropping phone calling with Bruce Pearl last night? Like that, they are dominating the paint, and their pace is unbelievable. They are pushing and pushing and pushing, and you can do that, Jimmy. They have 9 guys that have played 6 minutes or more in the first half.
Auburn, I'll say it again, they do not put a bad defender on the floor. They are staying out of defensive rotations by staying attacked.
What a shot there. J.D. Davison drew the foul, then threw it up over his head and got it to go.
It appears to me Auburn wants J.D. Davison to make shots in this game and not let him beat them as a passer because they are staying attached on any drive. Therefore, it becomes a one-on-one game, and that spin move is tough to handle. Again, he's all of 6'5", tough, physical, strong. Chance for the N1.
One of the great prospects to come through this Alabama program, Davison. And Still a 6-point game, 3.5 to go in the first half.
As good as he is, guard the ball right now, Davison. Ravi, his voice has to start impacting this Alabama team. That's offensive.
Yes, it is. Flanagan, Quinterly goes to the deck. He hasn't made a big impact on the offensive end, but there draws the foul. He's 1 of 5 from the floor. And Javon Quinterly, if they're going to be in this game late, he's going to play a big role.
Can you get the ball for both ball clubs? Can you get the ball reversed from one side to the other? Now attack a closeout. Trying to attack the first side of the floor. Not easy with all these athletes on the floor.
Quinterly with Flanagan on him, and now the switch to Williams, and he lost the ball. And here comes Johnson. He knows one mode, it's attack, and he went hard. No foul, and it's Smith who picked up the loose ball and flushed it.
Man, he fights now. He never, Jabari Smith gives up on a play. Got a little Lynn Bias in him as well. If you just go back and watch Lynn Bias play, the size, the smoothness, the easiness the game comes, very comparable.
Yes, Quinterly. He got Williams to back off just a hair, and he knocked down a 3.
You have to honest guard Quinterly. And when you do, you do. He makes it, he makes it. But that blow-by ability for 13 and white is special.
Crowd to its feet here at the Coliseum. Williams pull up, in and out.
Auburn's playing small without a center on the floor. 2-4 guys in Williams and Jabari Smith. Can they hold up around the rim right now?
Quinterly 3, too strong. Good fight, but it's Smith, and that's a turnover. Ellis. Oh, he just threw a bad pass right into the hands of Green. Let's pull up and try to knock a 3 down. No. And then they get Williams with a push from behind. They got Jalen Williams. Hey, Thursday night, ESPN2, college basketball triple header. E.J. Liddell leading Ohio State against Johnny Davis, Player of the Year candidate in Wisconsin. 7 Eastern, 6 Central. Then over on ESPN, he's everywhere. Johnny Juzang and third-ranked UCLA hosting Oregon at Pauley Pavilion. You can watch everything on the ESPN app, one tap.
You want to see a special 6'5 guard. Johnny Davis is it right now at Wisconsin. We saw a tremendous one from Arizona, Ben Mathurin. Man, there are some big-time, big guards right now in college ball that are just getting it done.
Noah Gurley goes to the free throw line. He shoots 2, the senior out of Fayetteville, Georgia.
Rabbi Auburn staying with their no middle, downing the ball, icing the action defense. And it took me back to my days. I talked with Bruce Pearl about it today. When I was assistant coach for Eddie Sutton at Oklahoma State, he brought in Mr. Iba one day for about an hour to talk about defense, forcing the ball corner, forcing it baseline, no middle. Here's why we do it. It was Coach Sutton, Bill Self, and myself sat there for about an hour listening to Mr. Iba talk about no middle defense, and it still holds up today.
The other thing Mr. Iba knows, and so do anyone else, speed kills in basketball.
It does.
And both these teams have it in the backcourt. There was a good example there as Green just blew by Quinterly. And they call the foul out top on Javon Quinterly.
One of the questions I have about Auburn in terms of are they a legitimate Final Four national title contender, will their guards hold up against the best? Well, this is the test tonight. There is not a better or more electric backcourt in college ball than Alabama. And will these Auburn guards hold up on the road? If so, you're looking at an Auburn team that can win the whole thing, I believe. You with me?
I agree 100%. This entire conference, especially the teams at the top, play with a unique pace. You watch all the other games from all the other conferences, and while there are teams that do that, this conference, especially the top 5 or 6 teams, all play in that frenetic pace. Well, they'll turn you over and turn it into 2 points and a dunk real quick.
Yeah, right. It's just the speed. It showed up last night in that national championship football game. The speed on the defensive lines in the SEC is a complete separator than any other league out there.
5-point game. Alabama's been terrific from the free throw line when they get there. 10 of 12. And Noah Gurley's trying to go there again. Good defense by Cardwell. Quinterly into the paint. Fade away, blocked again. Loose ball, and Cardwell threw it away.
What defense, though, by Auburn. They are locked in now and very determined to try to guard the ball with one and stay attached at the other 4 spots.
7 blocks in the first half. And Walker Kessler doesn't have 6 of them. This is a total team effort on the defensive end.
Auburn blocks 22% of all opponent 2-point attempts. Think about that.
Well, here's a 3-point attempt. Holt, line drive shot. Did not go. Last minute feels like a big minute in this game with a 5-point lead, and Smith.
ISO, go quick, get 2 for 1.
Lost it on the way up, but look at Cardwell, missed it. Had a couple of chances. Jabari Smith, 13 points in the first half. He knocked that away. Gurley picked it up, and he goes right over Cardwell with the right hand.
Gurley plays as hard as anybody. Every night I watch him, the ball finds energy, and it found Gurley. Feels like an isolation time for Jabari Smith to close out the half. You know the guards are always capable of the slot drives for Auburn getting downhill.
Here's Pearl called out the play. A high screen, and it's Green who launches a 3. Tipped up and in. What a play. Devin Cambridge. They still have 2 seconds. Quinterly's shot. Off. Whew. Take a breath. What an intense first half. And Jabari Smith, who averages 15.5, already at 13. He's got 3 of those 7 blocks, and he has been outstanding. Great first half.
Just what we thought. This game means more in this state.
The Auburn Tigers, number 4, getting into the paint, using their speed, and all sorts of Jabari Smith. Kevin Connors, LaFonso Ellis, and Seth Greenberg at the halftime report. Watched by Jeep.
Ravi, the stars have shined bright. Those 2 teams have been outstanding. Great first half. We welcome you into the Jeep halftime report. Same can be said of Texas Tech and Baylor, Fonz. One of the heroes of March Madness last year, Kevin O'Banner.
Kevin O'Banner gives them a 6'8" guy who can play inside, outside, can knock down the 3. But this is a Texas Tech team that does a phenomenal job of keeping you out of the paint. They keep the basketball on the side, only allow Baylor 22 points in the paint, while they were able to get 36, and that was a huge shot from 3 there.
Baylor down 5. Adam Flagler a 3, makes it a 1-possession game. And then, Fonz, how about Adonis Arms here?
What a great spin. Whoa! And what a finish over the top of Matt Meyer. What an incredible play down the stretch.
Closing seconds. Exceptional defense by Texas Tech. James Akinjo off the mark. Texas Tech goes into Waco and knocks off number 1 Baylor, 65-62. Your final Jeep halftime report. LaFonso Ellis, Coach Seth Greenberg, Kevin Connors here in studio. Coach, a lot of teams give great effort. What makes that Texas Tech defense exceptional?
Well, Fon just mentioned they keep the ball on one side of the floor, but they have versatile athletes with size and strength. And their ability to defend the ball one-on-one, communicate, be connected, and compete. It sounds real simple, but you have to compete to win on the defensive end. And this Texas Tech team, that last play is a perfect microcosm of what this thing's all about. Watch right here. You got Santos Silva on James Akinjo, one of the most dynamic guards in the country. He's in the stance, but there's good helping recover. You're keeping the ball in front. There's helping recover again. Watch the closeout right there. Watch Santos Silva. Everyone's getting involved in the play because this is a connected team that is competing in a stance. Active, alert, competitive, tough, competing on the defensive end. That's what makes Texas Tech defense so tough.
Fonz,